Hello, so today's video is going to be about Cartier, and I have made a few videos about like famous people or well-known personalities and their watches, and some people have said quite nice things about those videos and said, they're interesting and could you make more and things like that. And it's quite difficult really because, as you know, I imagine if you watch this channel or if you're interested in watches, most people's taste is relatively boring and everybody seems to have the same taste. Sorry, I'm just messing with my phone to figure something out here. It's not that I think I'm being a hipster or whatever. It's just that most celebrities buy the same watches. The Rolex and Patek and Audemars Piguet. And I think things are changing a little bit in relation to like this video, for example. But I do think that it's quite difficult to pick somebody to make a video about their collection because most people buy the same watches, and it's difficult if you don't go back in time. And this is not like saying things are better in the past or whatever, romanticizing the past. It's more that these things were less of a thing back in the day, so people had their own taste rather than following trends or whatever. So this video is about Cartier, and I thought a little bit about how to title it because the inspiration was not a person's collection but just one person. So I really like French culture and French music, and I have a soft spot for the singer Francoise, who was very famous in the 60s and 70s, is still alive, and she's still famous in France. She's not very well known, I don't think, in Britain. And I just saw a picture of her, and she was wearing a watch, and I thought, well, it'd be interesting to make a video about that. I was thinking about titling it something to do with women's watches or something like that, but I don't want to be seen to be telling women what I think they should wear because that's not my place. But yeah, so this is a picture of Francoise Hardy and her watch, and she almost certainly is wearing a Tortue, a Cartier Tortue, and I just think that Cartier watches on women but also on men are just the most kind of elegant and stylish watches. My two watches that I wear the most and that I most like, apart from Swatch, is my Rolex Explorer, and I've got a Cartier Tank Must on. And Rolexes are all well and good, but they're not very interesting designs. They're relatively conservative. That's what they're supposed to be, but Cartier really kind of pushed the envelope a little bit more. Whilst I say that, push the envelope, this watch was designed in 1919 or something like that, but the designs have really stood the test of time, and they're not round and things like that, and they just strike me as being really elegant. So the Tortue is obviously a really good choice in terms of that because it's a little bit different and something a little bit you might not see very often. And I think another interesting thing about Cartier is that they've tried sports watches and they either kind of get it wrong in a way or they do it in a different way to most other companies. And in terms of my favourite Cartier watch for a woman, because Cartier watches are unisex, is the Panthère. It was first released in the 1980s, and it's only a quartz watch, so you cannot get a mechanical version of the Panthère. It's got a steel bracelet, or two-tone or gold, but I really, really love that watch. I think it's so cool. I would completely wear that watch. I think Keith Richards wore one, and Pierce Brosnan, I think, wore one. I think I've seen a picture of the actor Timothée Chalamet wearing one recently, a really small one that I don't think I could pull off. But the Panthère is just so cool. I love that watch. I would completely wear that, completely buy that. But it's marketed only at women. which raises another question, really. You know, are these watches gendered, or can you wear kind of whatever you like? Obviously, you can, but you know, will you get frowned upon if you like, or will the sales assistant be like, "This is for a woman"? And yeah, there are loads of other cool Cartier designs. I think another one is called the Baignoire. I think if I'm not mistaken, that's the name of it. And that's another kind of, I would say, a feminine design, but it's just so incredibly cool as well. So if you are on the lookout, particularly for a dress watch or a stylish watch, if you like, you really cannot go wrong with Cartier. I think they make mechanical watches, they make quartz watches, and they make automatic watches. But ideally, obviously, I would love a mechanical Cartier, but they're kind of out of my price range at the moment. But the quartz pieces are completely fine, in my opinion. I mean, they're beautiful and stylish, and they're one of those, you know, we have this idea of like fashion watches, and that's kind of an apt but not a negative description of Cartier, because they're so incredibly stylish and they're like art on your wrist. Another Cartier that I really love, and I would completely wear this and buy this, is the Basculante. The Basculante comes in quartz and comes in mechanical, but I was reading about the Basculante earlier this week because it basically said that it's a value Cartier. The one that I was looking at was £9,000 or something like that, but for a mechanical Cartier that's vintage, even if you like, that's, you know, relatively good value, and it's such a cool piece. It's like a reverso, but it's got a mechanical part in the watch, and you can open it and use it as a table clock. It's just so cool. So I would really recommend that you check out Cartier if you're looking for a watch for yourself or for a loved one. And I think, I mean, Cartier is, at last checking, one of the 3 top selling watch brands in the world. So it's not like people have not caught on, but I think a lot of that will be to do with the tank and people just like gravitating towards an obvious choice. But I think Cartier do less obvious things really well too, and I think people are catching on. You know, you hear about rappers who you used to kind of associate with, you know, Audemars Piguet or Patek or Richard Mille or whatever, now kind of choosing to wear the Cartier Crash, and partially the ones who are making these things go up in value. So yeah, I just thought I'd make a quick video about Cartier. Tell me what you think of the brand and which are your favourite models. If you've got any ideas about value propositions, because I have no money, so I can't afford the expensive pieces. If you like the channel, please subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.